Hello friends, welcome to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Jody and it's great to have you join me today. Today I'm going to be doing a video that's maybe a bit different from what I normally do. I'm just going to call it Reflections of 2025. We're going to just kind of take a look at some of the highlights of this year, and I just thought it'd be something different, a way to kind of wrap up 2025 as we head into 2026. Now for most of this year, I was just doing curly hair content, and it wasn't until pretty much like the last quarter of 2025 that I really kicked into gear as far as doing all kinds of content, lifestyle content and curly hair content. So maybe some of the things that you didn't always see going on behind the scenes, and this is just kind of letting you in on that, giving you a little sneak peek behind the scenes. So starting off 2025, I'm just gonna say, I feel like I got sick quite a bit, a fair amount, more than I would like to, definitely more than I would like to. In the first 3 months, I feel like I got sick 3 times. I'm pretty sure it was 3 times. 2 of those occasions I had a fever with like a head cold that developed afterwards, and it was just not fun. It was miserable. But you know, it's a head cold. Once the fever part passed and the lethargic feelings that I would have with the fever, once that passed, then I just, you know, you just stuck with a head cold that's annoying. No one wants to be around you type of deal. I didn't want to be around me personally. You can work, but you can't really work depending on what you do because you don't want to expose people. It's all one of those things. I was in senior home care at the time, so I couldn't really be around those people, or I chose not to be around those people, and the family members agreed. It was all, you know, good on that part, but it's just one of those things that it was annoying and uncomfortable. Hopefully I don't get sick as much this year. I'm trying to do everything I can. Like, I take a vitamin D, I take vitamin C, I try to stay on top of my health and everything like that. I try to eat well, I go to the gym regularly, and I just don't know what's going on. So hopefully this year will be better. But one nice thing with the slower season, I call winter a slower season for me because it definitely is. After Christmas season is done and New Year's, it's definitely a slower time. I don't have to worry about yard work. You just tend to stay in a little bit more because we don't like to drive as much at the nighttime. I mean, I can definitely, but I don't know, just something about being dark earlier brings me inside the house more. And so I do like to work on puzzles at that time. So I love doing puzzles at that time. I'm sure you'll see glimpses of me doing that over the next several months and everything. So that's just something that I really enjoy and did enjoy last year. And I don't just do it in the winter time, but that's like the main time that I allow myself to do it. During the summertime, I tell myself I have all kinds of other things that I need to be doing. Going into springtime then, I hosted Easter again in 2025. So that was my second time hosting it at my house. And I think it's going to be a regular tradition. We tend to rotate with my family. Different holidays, people host different things. So like my grandma, as long as she can, she always hosts Christmas. My mom hosts New Year's, and my aunt split up Thanksgiving. That's how it has been, at least for the last several years. And I am hosting Easter. So the reason why I mentioned this, like I said, I've done it before, but the first time I did it, it was a lot more stressful. I wasn't really sure about, you know, just the whole idea of trying to prepare all the food, and other people do bring food as well. I'm not preparing everything, but I prepare like the main dishes and everything like that, and just try and have the space ready and inviting for everyone. That was kind of a little stressful the first time. This year, it felt a whole lot more easy and comfortable to do, and everything. I imagine it's just going to be that way. You know, the more times that I do it, it's going to be less, I don't know that I should say less effort, just less stress, I guess. Now in May, my mom and I like to do a Mother's Day trip. This is the second year that we've done this, and we have chosen to go to Amish country both years. Next year it may be something different. I'm not really sure. I have a different suggestion for her, but it's just a really fun time just to spend time together, just to, you know, talk about things that we normally wouldn't get to talk about, just more deep conversations and everything like that, and just to laugh and enjoy ourselves. So I always enjoy it, look forward to it. I'm not the biggest shopping person. If you know me, I shop for a little bit and I like to get in and get out. My mother loves to browse. I did not get that gene from her. But all in all, the day, we just have a wonderful time together and just a lovely trip in general. And I'm already looking forward to it, even though it's still quite a few months away. The next big events followed up shortly thereafter. They were in June. And Elmo, we don't know exactly when his birthday is, but we always just celebrate like the 1st of June. But then like that very next weekend, he got really sick. I mean, I was nervous that it might have been end of life. Was I prematurely nervous? Apparently, because he's still doing well now today, but he got really sick. Not to go into too much details, but he had to go to the bathroom like every 10-15 minutes. Maybe if we were lucky, it was half an hour. And of course, it always happens. It always starts out over the weekend. We ended up taking him to a vet emergency in a town that's quite a bit further away because we don't have one in our area. And then we followed up with our veterinarian. We thought things were getting better, and then he regressed again. And I'm telling you what, that poor boy, I felt so bad for him. But it was also a lot of stress on myself as well, because I was, like I said, I really thought I was losing him for a while. He did get better, but it was very slow and gradual. And I don't know if that was just due to his age or whatever it was he had. We don't know what he had. I'm just praying he never gets that again, because I don't know, that was really hard to go through. So as that carried on, like I said, Elmo did gradually get better, but into June and July, it was still kind of like not sure if he was ever going to fully recover. And then I was also having stresses with work and everything, and all of that was just compounding and affecting my own health as well. I've told you before, I have an autoimmune condition, and stress can definitely affect that. And sometimes it takes me several months for me to see the effects of the stress, like how I internalize it and how then it starts manifesting in my health. And so like I was more tired, I will say. There were other physical symptoms as well, and later, like my significant hair shedding, even though that happened during the fall time when I normally would have fall shedding, like it was significant. So there was just issues with that. By the time I could see like the manifestations of my physical health, I'm like, you know what, I really need to pull back in some areas. And I knew then at that point that my one job that I had would be coming to an end. There are a whole lot of layers in that as well that I don't want to go into too many details on, but there was just a lot of stress involved in that. So into the late summer and early fall is when I was noticing all these things, and to early fall is when I fully stepped back from my job. And so there was a lot of changes in that as well, changing from working at a place, going to someone's house, to trying to do content creation full time. And I really enjoy this. It's a total different change. I said this before in my video where I announced that I would be expanding my content and everything like that. It's just a total different way to wrap your head around, you know, time management and everything that you have to get done. And while I am enjoying it, it's different. One of the biggest perks of it, though, I will say, is getting to be home with Elmo a great deal more, because as he ages, I just get more concerned about his health and everything like that. It seems like a lot of times his health conditions would happen either on the weekend, like I said, when you don't have the vet available and I don't easily have a 24-hour vet service around me, or it happens when you have to be at work and you feel bad taking off from your other client, but you're also worried about your own dog and everything like that. So all that to say, Elmo, you want to make an appearance here? He just paces back and forth in the background sometimes. He's a busybody. He doesn't really want to stop and talk, sorry. And at that same time then that I was beginning my full-time content creation, my family was also farming. And one of the reasons why I did want to also step back from my other job, along with the stress that I was having and wanting to do full-time content creation, but I also want to be able to help my parents on the farm more as they get older. You know, it's nice to have an extra hand. Am I the strongest, the best, the most knowledgeable at it? No, I'm not. But I can definitely be an extra body and help out. And that's definitely what they needed. So I was glad I was able to do that, but it was very time consuming. We had put in fairly long days. Not every day was super long. In farming and harvesting, you are definitely weather dependent. So, you know, some days you couldn't do it because it had rained the day before, or some days you'd really try to make up for lost time. So sometimes you'd be in the field from like sunrise till sunset, basically. We didn't do too many of those, which is kind of odd because my dad is known for kind of pushing for that, you know, get as much done as you can in the time that you have. Or as the old farmer saying it goes, gotta make hay while the sun's shining. But I will say this year he didn't push super hard, but it was still a lot of hours, combined with the fact then that I was doing content creation. So I was putting out 2 videos a week, and I will say I underestimated how much time like goes into the back end of it that you guys don't see. The filming doesn't take that much time necessarily, but it's the editing and promoting and everything like that that takes a lot more time than I was expecting, just adding 1 more video. Plus I was also getting ready for our vacation. So our vacation happened in the end of October. Well, I should say the mid of October through to the end of October, and even into the very beginning part of November. So we were gone, and we left October 17th and we got back November 1st, and we did a 15-day cruise in the Mediterranean area. It was wonderful. It was fantastic, but I was kind of tired from having been through the harvest right before we left and not really getting any relaxing time beforehand. I was still going through the health changes that I was having, and I was concerned about my dog, how he would adjust to just me not being there. Because we had gone up to Canada actually too for like 5 days earlier in the year in August, and he didn't do well with that adjustment, with us being gone, I should say. And so I was like, what's 15 days gonna do? And in the midst of all that, then, I don't want to sound like this is a bad trip. It really was a great trip. Like, it was an amazing time, but there were just stresses that I allowed to be put on by myself. Like, I put those stresses on myself somewhat, and then some of them I didn't have any choice in. So I was worried about Elmo. A person that I was close to had passed away while we were gone, and that was really difficult. And then also we got sick while we were on the trip. Both my husband and I got a head cold. I'm pretty sure most of the crews, or at least about half of the passengers, were suffering from the same thing, because we were not the only ones coughing aboard the ship. But you do what you can do. They had hand washing stations all over the place, sanitizer, they highly encouraged it, and I don't know, we just did our best. I guess if I didn't touch anything, maybe I would have come out okay. But like I said though, we did enjoy our trip. It just wasn't quite as stress-free as I was hoping it might be. So coming into the latter part of the year, the last half, I always consider like around Thanksgiving and into Christmas time, I feel like things are finally slowing down. I feel like I'm finally getting my rhythm in this whole content creation. I feel like I'm finally getting my rhythm in my daily routine. Every day is a little bit different, and I actually like that. That's what I look forward to. I enjoy that. But there are also some key things that I always like to happen in each day and everything like that. And while this time of year is filled with much magic and wonder, the most miraculous thing of all is Jesus coming to earth the way that he did, born from a virgin birth as God in human form, to save us from our sins. So that is a wrap on 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you're interested in something like this again next year. Possibly I might do it a little differently. I'm not really sure. Just give me a little feedback. I hope to hear from you. And until I see you again in the next video, have a wonderful day. Bye.